living in San Francisco, and it's a great place to live, a great place to be an artist, not a great place to show. San Francisco is very competitive in terms of showing your work. But we moved here to be close to New York City so that I could be involved in the New York scene as peripherally as I am, and also because it's so cheap to live here. My name's Elizabeth Johnson. I'm an oil painter and art writer, and I live in Easton, Pennsylvania. So Easton is a good place, and it does inspire me in the sense that it is sad, and being a former industrial area, and we had steel mills and silk mills, overworked people. I identify with the history, and I'm inspired by the sense that it's an emotional place, and the architecture of it is also reflective of the history, and I get something from that. I don't like new towns or suburbs or someplace empty and blank. So Easton has tooth, it has atmosphere, it has depth that I like. And I can't really be a booster for Easton, I'm too much of a hermit, but I would say it's definitely a good place for us right now. I do consider myself an artist. I'm mostly invested in oil painting, but I occasionally write articles to keep myself involved in the art world in New York or Philadelphia, different urban centers. But the thing I really care about is making, as opposed to writing about it. My work is a juxtaposition of lots of different elements that tries not to tell a story. So I paint images together that have no reason really to be there together, in the hope of recreating the feeling of being confused by the world. And as if you're just waking up for the first time and you say, wow, what's all this? I like that feeling of surprise. I can describe my process as banging one's head against the wall constantly in the hopes of doing something different, interesting, and surprising. The hardest piece is always the last piece. I think most artists would tell you that. Because the struggle is fun, it's precarious, you feel like you're dangling off the end of a cliff and that you're gonna fail. Obviously, this is the painting that you're gonna throw away, and then all of a sudden it gels. Subjectivity is central to what I do. Yeah, it's obviously, I take everything in the studio with me and duke it out and then come back, hopefully feeling a bit relieved, because I'm duking it out with depression or my lack of confidence in a physical environment with physical materials. So usually I come out feeling victorious and relieved and ready to take on the next thing. Well, it's called Red Ski Slope. It is a painting that is an example of two different kinds of reality. One is two people on a ski slope, and then cut into the painting is a diamond-like shape of another image that's tilted sideways, just a house and kind of warped view. What I'm trying to do there is just show that neither one is dominant. Each are a choice, and they're balanced and equal. So it gives you that sense of, well, what's important? Why am I looking at two things that don't relate to each other? It's a big question mark, which I like. At the age I am now, I realize that the idea of Easton being an art center is wrong-headed. That one should think about their own art and be grateful for the good crosses and connections you make with other artists, and not worry too much about where you live. I'm in my 50s, and you wish that more happened quicker in your lifetime. I fear that what will happen with Easton it'll really blossom like in 100 years. if we are all here that long. So it's not going to be fast. I don't see what is happening in Easton is going to take much longer than I think the town fathers are expecting. So as far as the center of the art scene in Easton, it's definitely Tom and Chaz at Brick and Mortar. But to expect them to do everything, I think, is too much pressure on them. There needs to be an outside individual or institution that can take it to the next level and make Easton more open to outsiders, internationally, urban people, whatever. You need arts administrators, you need some kind of institution to really, if we had a small contemporary art museum in Easton, that would do wonders for the art scene here. More galleries, of course, would be great. Right now it's Brick and Mortar and a few, Alum downtown, Frankenfield has a gallery. There's not quite momentum yet with the galleries, but a recognizable small arts institution, I could really see that doing a lot for Easton, because you would have artists coming from New York or Philly that want to show here. And then the word really spreads that back to the cities. And there needs to be a person who's gung-ho about only doing that, who's an arts administrator by education, to really get behind the idea and raise the money. The money-raising part is huge. Be patient. That's it. Be patient. That's all it is. It's being patient and learning to stay with yourself and have all the adversity, distractions, but you have to be patient and not expect it to happen right away or ever. At 50, I realized that it may never happen for me to even get any kind of recognition that I value for my work, and that is when you become peaceful about it and you think, okay, I'm happy like this. So it's patience. And also being able to keep your focus. As you age, you also lose concentration and focus, so keep that, but also learn to be patient. The reason one should be patient is that it's not the place, it's not the person, it's you that has to be receptive to life to be a really good artist. And the more open you are to whatever's happening, it doesn't matter, it's miscellaneous. The information doesn't matter. It's you being aware.